Hey, welcome to the do's and don'ts of painting clouds. Start by making my little wash mixture here for drawing with Gamsol, a good amount of Gamsol and a little bit of paint. Okay, we are going to have the do side and the don't side of this piece of canvas. I'm starting with the don't side. So this is going down south, even to start with. For instance, the line I've drawn is very repetitive, like a little scallop piece of lace. And even the line on the bottom side of the cloud is oversimplified. And in the end, we get something that looks like a cartoon. Okay, now I'm going to try and draw a much more interesting cloud. So I'm doing my best to make this shape irregular, which is not as easy as it sounds. It's a natural tendency to want to make things symmetrical. So from top to bottom, it's different. If you compare the two, and from side to side, the shape is different, making it much more interesting to look at. Go ahead and paint this shape in. And then move over and paint the much more interesting shaped cloud. You can see I'm cutting into the shape of the cloud. Once the cloud itself has been painted, we'll go back in and cut into it again to reestablish those interesting negative shapes. Oop, little happy dance there, finishing painting the outside of the clouds. Okay, now we're going to mix colors for the clouds themselves. I used the mixture that I just used to darken this white was the combination of the alizarin crimson and the ultramarine blue that I use. It's a 50-50 mixture, and I use that to darken things like a black when I use this limited palette. And I added a little bit of yellow because that color is purple, so I added a little bit of yellow to dull the purple down and turn it more of a gray, more neutral. First pile finished. Now a lot of clouds, this is kind of cool if you check out the sky and look at the color of clouds, a lot of them have the lit or the lightest part of the cloud is actually a slightly pinkish. So I am creating the light or highlighted part of the cloud color, and I added just a tiny bit of yellow and a tiny bit of red to make it more kind of an orangey pinkish color. Okay, there's really no reason for you to see me to paint in this very sad shape. So come on, Susan, let's move on. Now to the more interesting shape. I've grabbed some paint from that pile I mixed. There you see it. And at this point, I'm kind of staying away from the blue a little bit as I get this light color painted in. Okay. Now I'm starting to soften the edges. That's another key point. Something you'll see in our sad little cloud are the edges are very hard between the white and the blue. And in a more natural cloud, because think about it, the cloud is made of water vapor, right? So it's not going to have very many hard edges. So we're going to get lots of practice painting softer edges. And to do this, you'll want to, every time you lift up your brush, maybe not every time, but a lot of times you'll want to constantly be cleaning your brush off with a paper towel, because you're going to get that blue mixed in with your white, and to control it means a clean brush. And when I say clean brush, I mean cleaning it off with a paper towel. Now you saw I grabbed the shadow color, so we're going to come in and paint that underbelly of the cloud that is usually significantly darker than the lit side, if it's a cloud of any size. And now I'm coming in to soften the edges a bit. Now you can have in a cloud, there can be some harder edges and some softer edges. Variety is always a good thing. So some of these edges I could make a little bit harder if I wanted to. There's that little UFO cloud. He's so cute. So at this stage, I'm just kind of going back and forth, lightening things if I feel they need to be lighter, and darkening other things. And it's just kind of this lovely thing that you can do with oils, where you can work back and forth, dark into light, light into dark, until you feel you get what you want. Oh, another UFO. Notice how much darker it is than the lit part of the main cloud. Now I'm going to add some irregularity to the shape. Hopefully it makes it more interesting to look at, a little more natural feeling. This painting clouds, clouds all look a little bit different, so nobody's going to know if you didn't paint the cloud exactly how it looked in the photo you were painting from, or if you're painting on location in the sky. Of course, if you're painting on location, they change from 1 second to the next. So it's kind of a relaxing, meditative thing you can do. I really enjoy painting clouds. As you put on additional layers of oil paint on a painting, you'll want to start out fairly thin in your first layers, and I use Gamsol at that point. And then as you start adding layer on top of layer, the paint needs to get thicker for it to stick. Sometimes painting in a different direction, like I just did there, from left to right, kind of horizontally, will help that additional layer stick a little better. Okay, here's the very most important part of this little video. Boo!